Welcome to A Meaningful Marketplace.
I'm Sarah Massoni from Oregon State University's Food Innovation Center, where I've helped countless dreamers launch their new food products. It's the science of taking a food delight from the kitchen to mass manufacturing and still keeping its great taste. That's what I do. I've been called the woman with the $1 million palate, although I haven't tried to cash that check yet. Listen in weekly for real-life stories.
I'm Sarah Marshall, owner of Marshall's Hot Sauce and author of Preservation Pantry, modern canning from root to top and stem to core. I love inspiring business owners to get started on their journey, encourage folks to be part of their local community, and I'm excited to help business owners tell their stories. Hello and welcome to the Meaningful Marketplace. We are here weekly to discuss the journeys of food entrepreneurs. We're glad you've joined us today as we bring you stories of hope and inspiration. This is Sarah Marshall, owner of Marshall's Hot Sauce.
And Sarah Massoni of Oregon State University's Food Innovation Center. Hi, Sarah Marshall.
Hey, Sarah Massoni. How has your week been?
Good. I want to know more about yours because you were in the Big Apple.
I was in the Big Apple. I am back
for the bomb.
home now. I was there for Cherry Bomb Jubilee. Last week I was recording from New York. I'm back home. I'm so glad to be back home. I love New York. I couldn't live there. It's hard. It's a hustle bustle lifestyle. You got to live there.
It's complicated. Just walking across the street, you have to like merge with people.
Oh man, it's complicated. You know, I love going back and forth into the city. You know, I'm always staying in Brooklyn, but a lot of the things that I'm doing when I'm going there for work things are in Manhattan. I did take the ferry into the city for the first time, which was very cool. It's, you know, you pay the same, it's a little bit higher fee, but pretty close to the same as what you do to take the subway. But you take the ferry and it takes you all the way around and to Manhattan and you go under all the bridges. And it's my kind of tip for if you don't have a lot of money and you want to do something kind of touristy.
Yeah, go on that.
Go on that. Mm-hmm. You can sit up top. You can see all the sights. You can take lots of pictures. They have beer and wine and snacks on the boat. It's pretty rad. It's like being on a mini cruise ship for $5.
Nice.
So that's my hot tip for low cost travel to New York City. But everything else is very expensive.
I saw you baked an Easter cake.
I did. I baked a cake.
Girl,
I got a new
fancy.
Yeah, I got a new cookbook called Snacking Cakes, and it's how to make really easy, quick cakes where you don't have to like have a bunch of bowls and a bunch of different ingredients. It's like all stuff you would just have in a regular, like well-stocked pantry. My daughter loves to have cake for breakfast, so it's like her favorite thing, which I know sounds kind of wild, but it's sort of the same thing as like pancakes or waffles.
Or
you know?
coffee cake.
Yeah, it's the same deal. And these cakes all have like fruit and nuts and things like that, so they're kind of a little, you know, healthier version. But yeah, I made a cake for Easter. It was a big hit. That one was a mint chocolate malt cake. So I would recommend that book to anybody if you want to make quick, easy cakes for your fam. It seems to impress everybody. And I'm not much of a baker. You know, it's like, I don't like to follow.
You always say that, but
I
you
do say
good.
that, but like, I don't, you know, I like to do my own thing. And with baking, you really got to follow directions. And
you do.
So my way of doing that this time was to make green frosting instead of chocolate frosting and put little bunny decorations on it. So I still made it my own, but the cake turned out just fine.
Cute.
Did you have a good weekend? Good Easter? Anything?
Yeah, I worked in the garden again.
Perfect.
With my husband. We're whipping back all those weeds. Ugh.
Yeah, I know. A never-ending
We try
story.
and garden without Roundup, so that means there's a lot of weeds to pull in the summer.
Yeah, especially
start of summer.
For us here in spring in the Pacific Northwest. It's like as soon as we get those first like spring rains, it's just like immediately.
You know, people said I could eat
everywhere.
the weeds, but I haven't figured out which ones would taste good.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that one. I just pull them, put them in the compost piles.
Yeah, I actually bought those big brown bags to fill up. I filled 6 bags last weekend.
Oh yeah, you were working hard. That's
yeah. So anyway, I'm glad the weed pulling season's almost over.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait until your garden is all set and you give me delicious things from it. So I will be excited to get all your spicy peppers that you grow for me this year. Well, we've been partnering with the Regional Food Business Center to bring guests from our 6-state region. We're currently meeting with business owners from the great state of Colorado, and I'd like to welcome our co-host, Mike Gabel from Colorado State University, C-Spur Food Innovation Center. Thanks for being our Colorado expert while we meet all these fun new friends. Mike, I have terrible news, and that is that we only have one more show with you after this.
Oh no.
Can you believe
It is
it?
sad for me too. No, it's awful news.
It went so fast.
Maybe he
Did.
can co-host when I'm out if he really likes it.
I know, I know.
I'm such a good third wheel. Yeah, you can have me on anytime, or I can pinch hit anytime for this Aries.
Oh, I love that. I
Nice.
love that.
Oh, okay. Are you
I'm
busy next week?
I know.
Just kidding.
We may be reaching out to you soon, Mike. Be careful what you say. Well, do you have any Colorado news for us?
Oh, Colorado news. It's so strange when you think about May being next week. And so we look at, the summer's going to come super quick. And then the first event we have in the fall is our Colorado Collision, which is a big pitch competition. That's the state finals. Sarah Massoni was a judge last year. She did a phenomenal job. And then the day after, we do a big kind of like a mini expo, farmers market type event where we have different buyers come out and different food experts. And so that's our showcase. So we're just getting ready for that. That's just several months away, but still not too early to start planning.
Very cool. Well, that sounds great. Well, thanks so much for bringing us all these great guests. It's been so fun to hear about all the things going on in Colorado, and we've met so many great people, and we hope that we get to do this with you again.
Absolutely.
We would like to encourage you to connect with your state by signing up for the Regional Food Business Center newsletter. It's a breeze to sign up. Just go to Northwest Rocky Mountain Regional Food Business Center.com, hit connect with us, and choose the button to receive newsletters. And we want to thank our sponsor for supporting the Meaningful Marketplace. Thank you for helping us spread the word about small business owners and entrepreneurs. Let's hear a word from our sponsor. The Northwest and Rocky Mountain Regional Food Business Center is the proud sponsor of the Meaningful Marketplace podcast, giving a voice to food from across the 6-state region of Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, Washington, and Wyoming. The Food Business Center supports Northwest and Rocky Mountain food industry makers as part of the USDA's National Network of Food Business Centers, supporting a more resilient, diverse, and competitive food system as a go-to source for small and mid-tier food and farm businesses with a focus on underserved communities, providing education in the form of technical knowledge, business programs, and industry news. We sponsor trade shows, meetups, and conferences to connect growers, producers, retailers, distributors, and processors, all to stimulate business and raise the standards of our storied food industry. Join us as we travel through the 6-state region, learning more about food makers, food hubs, and food systems. Visit the website at Northwest Rocky Mountain Regional Food Businesses.com to get connected. And I would like to introduce Jason Cartwright, owner of Fun Bar, making energy adventure bars in Colorado. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me.
We always like to connect listeners to you online and on social media. Can you tell them how to find you?
Yeah, for sure. We are online at funbar.com, and that's spelled Phunbar. Primarily social media is Instagram at funbar.
Perfect. We'll make sure to put the links in the show notes so people can find you easily. We always kind of like to start at the beginning. So tell us the story about why and how you created Fun Bar.
Wow. I started to create fun bars after, finishing up a 2-decade career in the wine business. I was getting pretty bored of that. And as an athlete over the years, I kind of grew tired of what the industry was putting out there for trail snacks. We got a recipe from a friend in the community. My wife's a teacher. One of the moms handed off a recipe for these snacks that she would make for her kids when they went camping. They tasted great. So I just started playing around with it from there. Remove a few ingredients, add a few ingredients, give it to friends, wrapping it in foil on runs and rides, and just kind of took off from there until, the response from everybody was super positive. So one night I just asked the question, during a dinner party, it was, why can't I turn this into a business? They had a good laugh. And when they stopped laughing, they asked, well, what would you call it? My daughter was 7 at the time, and she chimed in, Fun Bar. And we all stopped and looked at her and loved the name. So it really just got started from that night.
That's so cool. I love when, your community comes together and they're like the first people to kind of hear your ideas. And I kind of did something similar when I made a bunch of stuff and had friends over, and people are like, what are you going to do? If people haven't started a business before, they don't know that you can even, that's a possibility. They're used to everything just being like big companies, so they don't really think that that's a possibility. But here you are, you did it.
Yeah, yeah, it was a great ride. There was a part of me forever that I knew I wanted to own my own business, and opportunities came and went, and they never really felt, 100% like this was it. But as soon as this came along, I kind of knew this is something I can do. And we had our 3-year anniversary a couple months ago in February.
Congratulations.
What was the biggest challenge of bringing Fun Bar to life, and how did you overcome it?
There were many, many challenges. I think the biggest one was a little over a year ago, the supplier for packaging that I had ran out of product. I've always used compostable packaging for our bars, and the one producer that I found that would do it on the scale that I could afford had run out.
Mm.
So at that time, I had about 35 wholesalers, mostly up and down the Front Range of Colorado. And I had to pull out of that and figure out how I was going to supply direct to consumer sales as well. That was a big gut check for sure.
Did you go back to wrapping in foil?
Sort of. I'd use vacuum sealer bags that I asked everybody if they could order in multiples of 3, and I'd vacuum seal them and send them out. Some people have asked if we could keep doing that, but I haven't found a good compostable vacuum seal that's reliable. So,
Yeah. So your name Fun Bar is very playful and the branding is really exciting. How do you approach that branding and marketing to keep and capture the essence of fun?
yeah, like I said, my daughter came up with the name. The lawyers said FUNBAR was already trademarked. So it was a mix of growing up in that generation where we'd say, yo, that is fat. And it was PHAT. So it was a bit of that and a bit of my career in the wine business, talking pH balance, acids and bases, very important in your foods as well. So that's where the name came from. And after the lawyers first said no to the spelling FUN, it was a sleepless night. And thought about changing the spelling to PHUN. And it got me thinking of the periodic table of elements from there. And then the tagline, fuel for every element of fun. Yeah, the brand certainly I want it, to be associated with fun and good times. But that's kind of up to each and every individual out there of what they enjoy to do. Is it skiing? Is it hiking? Is it running, biking, whatever. I hope they enjoy our product as they are enjoying their favorite lifestyle.
That's fantastic. So I picked up on your last comment, Jason, that you brought over a few things from the wine industry where you previously worked. Anything else, aside from just those flavor combinations, balancing the sweet and the acid that kind of carries over?
Into the business as a whole,
Yeah.
yeah, sales, being able to, spend 15 years on the whole side, so selling to restaurants and wine shops around town. So being able to walk into a business and chat them up and find who the right person is and sell my product. So after all those years of doing that with somebody else's product, it feels much better selling mine.
Absolutely. Do you have any tips or tricks for how you sell your products? What you, as a person, as a salesperson, do to really get the sales?
Okay, yeah, I just, I'm very confident in what I'm making. I still make every single bar, so we have great quality control here at our kitchen. I'm very confident in it, so I don't hesitate having someone taste it right in front of me, or, I don't really need to use tricks, I should say, to sell it. I let prospective customers know the main bullet points of it's all real food. There's no artificial junk in there. Like I said earlier, we have compostable packaging, one more way to reduce single-use plastics out there. As a cyclist and a runner, it burns me every time I see the top of a gel packet or someone's plastic wrapper that probably just fell out of their pocket, but that doesn't go anywhere. We've got a ton of calories per 2-ounce bar, more than anybody on the market that I've seen can match that. They taste great, which was why I kind of started this. I wanted something that tasted great and had the texture that I could chew and swallow with an elevated heart rate. Just kind of pitch them with that, and more often than not, it's a success.
Well, and you sent us some samples. Thank you for sending those. And today my plan was to just open one and I was just going to check it out and then it's empty now. I ate it. But I opened your it said it was the OG recipe, which was the cranberry chocolate. It's
Hmm.
so good. I love it. It's
Awesome.
delicious. I'm going to try another one so I can describe to people what it tastes like. But the thing I loved about this one was I loved that it wasn't too sweet. I loved that there was the little crispy rice in it, and I loved the pepitas in there. It was so good.
Nice.
My plan of trying one bite failed, but I had also just been, I just went to Pilates and I hadn't eaten anything. I didn't realize how hungry I was, but it was perfect for that.
I think I had the lemon bar, if I'm not mistaken. It was so good.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
lemon blueberry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. With that one, that definitely it pays homage to my career in the wine business. A big acid head when drinking wines, and I wanted to bring that into the energy bar world, where it's acids in your food and drink that get your palate salivating again. So from hot, dry, dusty days, long efforts, whatever it may be, if you ever out there hustling and you get cotton mouth like I do sometimes, having that citric acid in there to give it a real powerful punch to get you salivating and lean more towards that refreshing side for an energy bar.
Mm.
So this one I just tried is so good. It's apricot chai and it gives me like all those warming spices. Does it have pepper in it?
Yeah, yeah,
No.
cardamom, black
It has
pepper.
yeah,
Uh,
I can taste all those like yummy warming spices. It's like I know people talk about like pumpkin spice, things like that of that nature, but this is like 1,000 times better than that.
nice, nice. We
I
kind
dig
of
it.
launched it last fall, right around the whole pumpkin spice latte
Mhm.
ramp up.
Yeah,
So we had
smart.
our own laughs about that. But yeah, with the candied ginger in there too, it gives it a nice spicy kick.
It's so good. I love it. I just got a little piece of that ginger in there. It's really good.
I'm jealous.
Mike, have you had these fun bars?
We've had quite a few of the fun bars, and they're fantastic products. We actually, Jason was out. I was talking about the showcase, and Jason was out last year at our showcase. Hopefully, he had a good time and got a lot of traction and some visibility amongst the Colorado audiences here. And so we're grateful that we've known Jason for about a year and a half now, haven't we? Seems like it's been a good long time, and so we love supporting food, Colorado food entrepreneurs, and Jason's doing everything right.
Thank you, Michael.
It seems like you really know how to, speak to your audience there in Colorado because people are really into adventuring and outdoors and they need something on the go. And your packaging represents that and your product really represents that. And I think you've done a really good job of speaking for yourself without actually being there.
Thank you. Thank you. As you all know, the energy bar market is crowded enough as is, and to be here in Colorado in the mix of so many other great businesses started here, are still based here, that work in the nutrition, active lifestyle world. It's been awesome to be received by my peers and competitors.
We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, let's talk about what flavor tells your story best. We'll be right back.
Oregon State University's College of Agricultural Sciences and the Food Innovation Center are proud sponsors of Meaningful Marketplace. With a mission to serve all Oregonians, we are committed to giving voice to those whose food and agricultural stories are not always heard. By providing access and opportunity for a more diverse and just food system, because food brings people together. Okay, so I'm going to guess the lemon tells his story the best. Lemon blueberry. Am I right or am I wrong?
That's tough. I do lots of demos at races and run clubs, and everybody asks, okay, what's your favorite bar? I might be able to rate them 1 through 5, but I make them. And there's a reason why they taste the way they do. There's, a reason for that texture. And so they're all made with purpose. So it is difficult to pick a favorite out there. Early on, I kind of joked like, oh, we would never do a vegan version of a bar because most of them have honey and butter in them. And I kind of joked like, nah, I wouldn't do that, but I did. And it's called the free for all because it's gluten free like the rest of the bars. It's also dairy free, nut free, and vegan. And then I
Mm.
immediately tell people, and it does not taste like cardboard, because some of the bars out there that fall into those categories, well, they kind of do. So more often than not, I find myself reaching for the free for all, even though I don't have any dietary restrictions. Yeah, the lemon blueberry is awesome for that citrusy kick. Even though I have one with coffee and caffeine, you'd think that might be the go-to for me in the morning, but I think it's more the lemon blueberry, that and an apple, and I'm ready to go run for about 10 miles.
Who is the ideal customer for you and how do you connect with them?
Everybody that likes to eat is my ideal customer. And I know as a marketing grad many, many years ago, if you try and go after everybody, you capture nobody. That saying, but I have people tell, I mean, first and foremost, I'm going after the athletes out there. That's anybody, whether you're trying to run your first 5K or, I mean, I had a big athlete taking the free for alls. He's a vegan ultra runner, and he just took him for a 300-mile run down in Arizona. So any type of athlete is who we want to talk to. But I hear from folks, they take them on plane rides, so they're great for traveling. When you're stuck in the office and you can't get away, they taste good enough to just have a snack at your desk. Yeah, I want everybody to try Fun Bars and hopefully they dig them.
So, Jason, I'm curious, and I know the listeners like to understand about different sales channels. And so it seems like you're out, you do everything from your website, direct to consumer. You do things through like running and sports events. You're doing wholesale. It was funny. I was up with my family. We were up at a state park. I forget which one, up by Conifer. And there in the ranger station, there was the fun bars too, which is great. Which sales channel is your most popular? Where are you getting the most traction? And maybe which one's the hardest for you to get into right now, or where you'd like to be?
With the size that we are, we were in a little local independent grocery store, or have been, currently are. They did really well for us through the winter, where bike shops and running stores really slow down here in the Front Range during that time. But now we're seeing, I think it's a combo of, we're having warmer days. People are, the season is starting more for mountain biking and running around here. So I'm already seeing a quick pickup in turn at the running stores and bike shops. We're starting to reach out. My business partner has contacts in the grocery world across the country. So we're starting to reach out to other small to medium size grocery stores. We're about to ship to our first one. They're up and down the East Coast, and they've got 19 locations. So we're getting ready to send about 1,000 bars out in a few weeks. The hardest is the corporate world, getting into larger organizations, which I know we'll have to get into, the Whole Foods and the Vitamin Cottages of the world eventually. But we're trying to manage our own expectations too. As much as I want to land REI tomorrow, if they say ship, that could be upwards of 9,000 bars, and we don't have that kind of inventory on hand. We want to do it right. Everything is moving in the right direction more often than not. So we're trying to manage our growth as fast and as manageable as we can.
That's a great answer.
Do you have natural grocery stores there?
The Vitamin Cottage, Natural Grocers.
Is that what it's called there?
Yeah,
I was thinking that would be a good store for you.
for sure. Yeah, I believe they started here in Colorado, was their
Did they?
first, and now they have, I don't know, like 1,000 stores across the country.
Are you going to try for REI?
Definitely. Yeah, they used to have a local buying program for food, and I can see the Denver flagship store out the window from our kitchen. And so they started bringing in fun bars. I heard there was a recall from another company that did not go well. And so corporate put the kibosh on buying of food on the local level. But I feel confident I could pitch them. We have great history of how the product moved. So at least we have that in our corner. We're not totally new.
And if people that are listening aren't based in Colorado, can they order your fun bars online?
Absolutely. We can ship anywhere in the United States.
Perfect. And we always like to ask if you have any advice for people who are currently dreaming up a business.
Oh, do it. Whatever your idea is, take the first step. Whether that's just saying it out loud or start searching how to do it. If there's, we're lucky enough for this day and age that you can Google anything, and you can get some amazing advice and ideas out there. If it's something you've been thinking about, I advise you to start doing it.
I did notice one thing on your website. When you first go on, you get people to sign up for your newsletter. And we don't often talk about newsletters on this show, but I think it's a really important part of people's websites and building their platform and their customer base. And I also wanted to know, so when people sign up, you have a little image of knuckle tattoos that say Fun Bar. Do you really have that tattoo?
No, I
No, you
don't.
don't. I thought maybe you did.
I did tell my wife when we hit our first million in revenue, I would go get it done, but she said, no, you won't.
And is building your newsletter and having people subscribe, is that a big part of building your community of Fun Bar folks?
I hope so. We really just started that not even a year ago. So when we started doing all the e-commerce, automated email flows and campaigns, that was part of it. So we send out one, I think maybe two emails. It's been one as of late, but we might get up to two or three a month. And we're trying to do it in a way that makes you want to read what we have to say. It's not just sales, 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 sales. We have a Spotify radio station that anybody can add music to. If you need a new workout listening to, check us out on Spotify, Fun Bar. Trying to build a Strava club where we can put out, where we're going to be, events we're going to be participating at, and go directly to the runners and cyclists and skiers out there that are on Strava. Maybe a couple deals too, hint, hint. We're so new in that and experimenting and trying to find the best way about it to make it interesting and not just put junk out there.
If you could give one piece of advice to any food business people out there listening in as you look back at your launch, what would it be?
As I look back at my launch
Yeah.
advice of what I would give someone, I'll pass on some of the best advice I got early on was pay your lawyers. Find find some good lawyers and pay them the money. I think that goes with accountants as well. You don't want to write those checks, but the advice I got was do it now and get everything buttoned up. It'll be way more expensive if down the road something is wrong. So I would take care of the back end before you get too out over your skis on the front.
That's great advice.
Any final things you want to say before we wrap the show?
I hope everybody that shops for energy bars or protein bars out there, this makes you curious, and maybe you'll check us out at funbar.com and taste our delicious energy bars.
Go have some fun.
Yes, go have some fun.
Well, it was great chatting with you, and I recommend that people try your bars. They're really so good. I love them. Thanks for sending us some. That was so nice, and it was great to hear your story.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on and allowing me to tell the story.
And thanks to our listeners for tuning in to Meaningful Marketplace. Before you go, show us some love and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and iTunes. You can follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Meaningful Marketplace Podcast. You can call or text Sarah and I with questions at 503-395-8858. We couldn't do this without our fantastic team at Joy of Creation Production House. Thank you to Dave, our production coordinator, and Haley, our audio engineer. And we will be back next week with our final Colorado show of the year. Thanks for joining, everybody. Bye.
Bye for now.